Hello, all. I am Hriday Raval and you are watching Bharat News. Today, we will be discussing about the deadly Islamist terrorist attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir, a part of India. And to discuss this, we have with us none other than Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, sir, the man who secured Siachen for India. Not wasting much time, let's welcome Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, sir, on the stage. Namaste, sir.
Thank you,
Welcome to
Hriday.
Bharat News.
Jai Hind. Namaste.
Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, as we already seen in the news what happened on that day in Pahalgam, sir, can we know from your perspective, according to the security apparatus, what happened on day where our security forces failed and what did actually happen?
Definitely. What happened on the 22nd of April at Pahalgam, in where innocent lives were killed by the terrorists, is something sad and will remain etched in our minds for a very, very long time. Such a thing has actually not happened before in such large numbers. Last, when we had it in about 2000, when I think it was Mr. Clinton who was visiting India, and at Chhattisgarh, where 36 Sikhs were killed. At that time, a lot of halla gulla were done by Pakistan, saying that it is not they, but orchestrated by India to bring a bad name to Pakistan. But this one, what has happened at Pahalgam, where 26 innocent tourists were killed on basis of their religion, segregating between Hindus and Muslims, asking them if they could recite Kalma, and if it could not be done, they were shot dead. And the ladies were spared, and they were told they can go back and tell that this is what had happened, indicative of an act which was orchestrated, masterminded by someone who knew what had to be done. Who else in Pakistan does it? It is always the Pakistan army which is involved in this particular dirty episode, for a very simple reason that the way the equipment was used, the kind of planning that had got done, the kind of support that they got from the OGWs over there, because even if there were six in number or seven in number, at least three, four of them were from Pakistan, and
Yes.
that probably one or two, it is reported, were regular officers or men of the special service force of Pakistan. Now, if that be so, what is it that led Pakistan to do what it did at that point of time? I think first and foremost, I must tell you, as what you just mentioned about the security lapse. Was there a security lapse? Did it happen of that reason? Well, to some extent, I won't call it a lapse, but it is reported that those meadows over there, the pasture lands of that area, are not opened every year till the 1st of May. They are
Yes.
open only after the 1st of May, when the Amarnath Yatra is to be undertaken, and therefore that entire area is secured. Since it the 1st of May hadn't come, there were no security forces as per se in the nearest place where this incident has occurred, at that Maidan over there. So this the question is, who gave the orders for it to be opened on the 20th of April and not on the 1st of May? I'm sure the investigation team will bring this out as to who gave the orders, how did they know, and even if somebody did give the orders in best of intention, how were these orders then known to the persons who executed? How did they know that yes, on 20th the orders have been given? Because the shops have opened, the ponies have come, all of it is over there, is indicative that everybody knew that such a thing is happening over there, and that the tourists were permitted and everything was happening. How did such a major fiasco took place? That's something which the investigation teams will bring out. Irrespective of that, the fact that reportedly many more would have been killed, but it did not so happen because of the number of tourists not being there, or maybe the chaos that took place after the killing that happened over there, all of it. And also there must have been some kind of a security leakage, even from the hotel rooms or to people concerned, that who all have come, who are these people, where are they heading to? Because as I read out in the normal newspapers and media which comes out, a particular lady has said that she was asked repeatedly as to
Yes.
whether is she a Hindu or is she a Muslim, and that does she have any Muslims in her group, or does she eat this, or does she recite this, and all that. So that having come out is indicative that yes, certain people, maybe the poniwalas, also were involved in this, because if the firing has been indiscriminate, let's put there was indiscriminate firing, then a lot of these poniwalas who are hovering around them would have been killed. Because over there you will find there'll be one tourist and six people surrounding them to buy this from me, buy this from me, I will take you for 75 rupees, I'll take you for 700 rupees, then you haggle, bargain, everything, all of that happens over there at Pelgam. So it's indicative that the whole thing was orchestrated. Now the question is, how did it happen and why did Pakistan do it at this point of time? If you notice, over 2 crore tourists have visited the Srinagar Valley. The kind of roads that have opened up, the kind of trains that are operating, the kind of shops that are full of all kinds of stuff, the kind of garden, the tulip gardens and the things that are there, you don't have a place to stand. That is the kind of rush. So even though the radicalized Pakistan, radicalized some of these mullahs over there, they must have been surprised that they are wanting the society to become a very conservative society. Instead, they seem to be coming out in open in hordes and not bothered one bit, and are actually enjoying the freedom and the moving around, and because they were feeling suffocated. So after the abrogation of Article 370, it has taken the government efforts to make sure that the things are easy, people are feeling good, there's a feel good factor, and that there was general upswing in the happiness quotient, and at the same time, a lot of people felt good. The economy was doing well, they were doing well, medical colleges new were opening up, IITs were opening up, so many opportunities for employment, education, all of it was being given. This something somehow I don't think Pakistan was able to digest, thinking that how is it that since 1947 they've invested so much of money into terrorism, and that the chief of army staff, who almost have become like a hafiz rather than irrespective of whatever he may be, that he's calling it a jugular vein, and that
Yes.
jugular vein doesn't seem to be working. There he's saying again and again that the two nation theory, we are different from Hindus, we have nothing in common, everything is different, the aspirations are different, the customs are different, the food is different, the religion is. Does everybody not know that it is different? Or is he taken on becoming a grand mullah to be able to wanting to tell people? And whom is he addressing? He's addressing his Muslim community. He's not addressing some other community. They all understand, and they're not Muslims from Africa. They're Muslims from Pakistan. They're non-resident Pakistan Muslims who were abroad, who have come there, and he's addressing that audience. So what is he need to tell them? At the end of it, he's telling them only that I'm grateful to you all that you are ambassadors and please go enjoy yourself. All this is a talk coming from the chief of the army staff, shows that there's a direct hand, because what he said there 2 days before,
Yes.
same thing was repeated over here, saying aap Hindu hai ya Musalman hai. So what does this show? Even so much, to such an extent that the trousers are pulled down to see whether they're circumcised or not. So what does
Yes.
that show? It shows that such hard mindset of radicalized people in Pakistan have brought shame to the Muslims of India. The Muslims of India are feeling ashamed that this incident has actually put them into a kind of a feeling of uneasiness in India, because they don't believe. The Indian Muslims are far more liberal, are far more wanting to be with the society, move along, do enjoy. If there are aberrations within the society, they would rather settle it one amongst themselves. They don't need Pakistan. They don't need Pakistan. They've seen What has happened to Pakistan since 1947? A country which is ruined. A country which is selling petrol at 250 rupees a liter. Can you imagine? Can an Indian, even I cannot afford a petrol at
Okay.
250 rupees a liter. Probably I'll start going by metro tomorrow, or I'll start going by bus tomorrow if the petrol or the diesel is start costing 250 rupees. So that shows that instead of concentrating and focusing on uplifting their own people in Pakistan, all that he's doing is to divert the attention of their own people by doing what he's wanting to do it in India by sending in terrorists and to ensure that this. Why is he doing this? Because they are in the back foot. In Baluchistan, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where the Pakistan army is losing by dozens of men, they lose over 1,500 and 2,000 men every year to the Baluchis and the Pakhtuns. Why are they? Why is that happening? Because these Punjabis, who constitute over 95% of the Pakistan army, do not treat these people with respect. And if they don't treat these people with respect, and their number is very little, so you will not even find a colonel or a brigadier who's a Baluchi by birth. So this, all of it, when you see that they feel discriminated, and discrimination of what kind? No drinking water, no electricity, no food. Chinese all over. Chinese have taken away Gwadar. As a result, they've lost their fishing. All the minerals over there are being exploited by the Chinese, taking them away from Baluchistan. So those people are fed up. They are absolutely fed up of Pakistan. They're fed up of the Chinese. And the electricity, you'll be surprised with that, is coming from Iran. For a Gwadar International Airport, which has been made by China over there, where not even one aircraft takes off in very probably months together, and even the Gwadar port, where not even two ships come over there in probably months on together, all of it get their electricity from Iran. So this is the state of Pakistan, and wherein their own Fazlur Rahman, who's a parliamentarian, who stands in the parliament and is making a speech, has gone viral. That in provinces of Baluchistan, there are some provinces, 5 or 6 of those provinces, where Pakistan flag does not fly, where the Pakistan security forces do not even exist. The police is not there. It is the Baluchistan Liberation Army which runs the entire administration there. So at this rate, that is why the Zafar Express happened. Now Pakistan is wanting to say, some of them are saying, that because India is interfering in Baluchistan, we have done this in Kashmir. What? How can India interfere in Baluchistan? Can anybody interfere in Baluchistan in this way? Since 1950, ever since they got that Khan of Kalat signed the instrument of accession by force, Baluchis have never been wanting to be with Pakistan. All through. Never. So if this is the scope, this is the way it is, the way they ill-treat the women over there. Have you seen a woman suicide bomber in a Muslim world? There it was. A Baluchi woman becomes a suicide bomber and kills Chinese. This is the state of Pakistan. And Chinese are so disgusted and fed up with Pakistanis that they're saying that they would rather bring in their own division to ensure the safety of the Chinese in Pakistan, because Pakistanis are not able to give any safety and security to the Chinese workers over there. This is Pakistan for all of us. And this is the Pakistan which is economically shattered. The only thing that the world knows about Pakistan is Osama bin Laden, who was next to the Pakistan Military Academy, killed by Pakistan, by America, and whose best friend Pakistan, they knew where Osama bin Laden is, and they continued to make Pakistan complicit without telling their best friend at that point of time that, yes, of course we know where Osama is, but we'll show you at the last minute. So you find that Pakistan has always used terrorism as an instrument of state policy. Pakistan army has been in control of Pakistan right from 1947, either directly or through remote. So you find that Pakistan army is an army which has been brought up their culture of hate India, number one, and follow what their Zulfikar Ali Bhutto said, that we will fight with India for 1,000 years, and Ziaul Haq said we will bleed India with 1,000 cuts. So this is the mindset, whether it is civil or it is military. There is no difference. If anybody tells us that, look, the democracy in Pakistan will be different. This gentleman, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, whose father was in Junagadh, you know what he did? For pleaded Mrs. Gandhi for the Simla Agreement of 1972, took 93,000 of the PWs who were there, did not leave for those 54 our own PWs which are languishing in jail. God alone knows whether they are alive or dead. I'm sure they would have been dead, most of them, by this particular time. And that Simla Agreement, he never ever even observed. What is Simla Agreement? That bilaterally we have to settle disputes, resulting in that UN resolution 47 which was passed, which required intervention by UN, had been done away with. Instead of doing that, they have now went till here, till I would say even 3 months back, you found them screaming in UN, going on international platform that Kashmir is ours, Kashmir is ours. When Simla Agreement states very clearly that you have to settle your disputes bilaterally
Yes.
without any external interference. Now they are saying just because India is done away with the Indus Water Treaty, we are suspending Simla Agreement. When did they ever follow Simla Agreement? It was already suspended. They were making full use when they
Yes.
wanted it, like a ceasefire. They did bring in ceasefire. Why? Because they wanted these troops to be lifted from the western border and taken to Afghanistan and on to Balochistan and fight the Taliban, fight the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, fight the Balochistan Liberation Army. That is what they were doing. Now that the ceasefire is now there, now they'll get their backs burnt because all those troops will come back along the. Now we can call it the ceasefire line because the Simla Agreement is abrogated, so there is no LOC. We can hopefully go back to Karachi Agreement, or it is free for all. Whoever wants, जितना आगे जाकर के ले लो. Complete POK is ours. So we'll see how we go follow along. So Pakistan needs to understand, and now they'll make big noises. We will teach India lesson. Either blood will flow or water will flow. Whereas our Prime Minister made it very clear that blood and water cannot flow together. Where is the doubt? If you want to have blood to flow, let us see. हो जाए दो हाथ, like what the erstwhile Prime Minister Mr. Bajpayee used to say. हो जाए दो हाथ, आर या पार, देखी जाएगी क्या होता है. So we have to be very clear with Pakistan because Pakistan is not a normal state. Pakistan cannot be trusted. Pakistan has been put on grey list by the Financial Action Task Force so long only for money laundering, terror
Yes.
funding. Why did they put it? So world over, everybody knows what Pakistan is, but Pakistan enjoyed that so-called geostrategic location once with America because America wanted someone that they could be helped to go to China, which they're regretting today. That why the hell did they use Pakistan to go to China? And look what they've done today in the world and to America itself. So
Yes.
China is also on similar line, but we'll discuss China later. Right now, we're discussing Pakistan, and we see what Pakistan is all about: a nation which cannot be trusted, a nation which uses terrorism as an instrument of state policy, a nation which has an army which has never won a war but has never lost an election. That is the state of Pakistan army. And where Mrs. Hillary Clinton, who in 2013 said that if you have snakes in your backyard and if you think that their snakes will only bite your neighbors, forget it. They will bite you one day. So Pakistan is a now sky host saying that they're victims of terror. Instead, they're perpetrators of terror. They're not victims of terror. They're perpetrators
Yes.
of terror. And this is suffering because they have even taken away the weapons left behind by America in Afghanistan when they pulled out from Afghanistan worth $7 billion, which I'm sure Taliban would have kept a large number. But then at that point of time, initially, Pakistan and Afghanistan were in good relations. Maybe Pakistan had taken away a large number of personal weapons because those
Okay.
personal weapons now can be seen with these terrorists
Yes.
who are infiltrating into India, and the infiltration continues. Now people will say, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? कहाँ से आएगा? इतनी सारी फौज लगी है, इतना सारा BSF है, CRPF है, civil police है, ये कैसे आ सकते? The terrain is like that. Even though we may have fencing, the weather, the terrain, you can't be at every 10 feet. You can't have one man
Yes.
watching 24/7. Not possible. They have tunnels. They're using drug money. They use drones. They use jetties. All kinds of things. Pakistan has a negative mindset. Pakistan has a mindset of wanting to weaken India. In this, China benefits. In all this, China benefits because China sees India as an economic threat. China sees that India will soon become the third largest economy. China sees that India in today's standing in the world is very high, and India's political leadership has tremendous respect in the world. India's military has become strong. India's technology has become strong. India's economy is vibrant. And all of it is
Mm,
not seen by China in a very good
yes,
light. And therefore, they allow Pakistan do what you want to do. As it is, they don't like us because this is what Chawan Lai told Ayub Khan at that time. Ki they look like you, they eat like you, they talk
yes,
like you, they walk like you. Then why don't you do proxy war? You will never win a conventional war. And this is what the advice came from China to Pakistan.
yes.
Pakistan took that advice and are doing till date what they are doing. Yeah, Hriday.
So, sir, we already discussed Pakistan. We will come to China and geopolitics later. But, sir, let's discuss India first. Let's discuss India in terms of internal security. So there has been an intelligence that there are around 50 to 60 in the valley itself, the sleeper cells, 50 to 60 sleeper cells in the valley itself. There have been many in India, but in the valley itself, there are 50 to 60. Also, we have been seeing that the people who are raising voices against the Pakistan and the Pakistan army, certain community, certain people of the Muslim community from India, the Indian citizens are opposing them. We have many Muslims in our military. Our president was APJ Abdul Kalam, sir, and we salute all of them. We salute the patriotic. But, sir, what about the Muslims of India who are not supporting India? Tulsi Gabbard has made a statement in her tweet stating that this attack is an Islamist terror attack. Sir, don't we think that it is a time now to shift our focus from the Hindu phobia or say anti-Semitism to Islamist terrorism? Can't we define the terrorism as Islamist terrorism now? Is it there a need of it? And what if that India goes into the war with Pakistan? Would there be any internal security matters in terms of the Pakistanis from heart who are Indian citizens, the Muslims who are living here who are not supporting India? Will they create ruckus in India? What are these internal security matters if we go to the war?
Hriday, thank you very much for asking such a detailed question as to what it would be, how the Indian Muslims are, and what it is. At the very outset, let me tell you, any religion which teaches you anything other than peace, love, forgiveness is not a religion. Any religion and every religion teaches love, love your neighbor, respect for others, humanity, forgiveness, and carry on. And a religion is a very personal matter in which there is no, anything that can happen. I could be anybody. I can be an atheist. I may believe. I may not believe in God. It makes no difference whatsoever as long as I'm a good human being. It is to become a good human being that I take the religious route or the spiritual route to become a good citizen, a good human being, so that I feel at ease while I'm working. The others feel at ease working with me. So that's having said that. Now, what happens? The sleeper cells or the overground workers that are there, and a large number, like you said, 50, 60 of them in Kashmir, it's an aberration. Now, why do I call it an aberration? Because a large majority of the Kashmiris do want to join the mainstream. But this also, now, if you say what I'm saying, you find that engineer Rashid, who's supposedly in Tihar jail for none other than being an anti-national, gets elected as member of parliament on lakhs of votes, over 4 lakh votes. What does that show? That shows that some people, irrespective of whatever it is, the mindset has not changed. It will not change also overnight. If we expect that their mindset will change overnight after the abrogation of Article 370, it may not work out. Because there are politicians of Jammu and Kashmir who have also said a number of times, if you abrogate Article 370, you will say only blood will flow, nobody will hold the national flag, or all that nonsense that they spoke about. Nothing of that can happen. Now, when you have freedom, they find themselves lost. So, this kind of, there is a requirement because when on the 26th of October 1947, when the instrument of accession was signed by the Maharaja with the government of India, why did he sign on this particular day? Why did he not sign on the 15th of August 1947 or the 14th of August or 13th of August? It would have been much better. But because for whatever the reason that Maharaja Hari Singh did not see eye to eye with Pandit Nehru, Maharaja Hari Singh saw eye to eye with Mountbatten. Mahatma Gandhi also went there to persuade him. Sardar Patel also spoke to him. Jinnah also was in conversation with him. In fact, Jinnah had all set to celebrate Eid in October of 1947 in Srinagar. So all that planning had been done by the Maharaja signed the standstill agreement with Pakistan. India did not sign the standstill agreement because India said if you are looking for your independence or anything, we do have nothing to do with you. Mountbatten had clearly decided and said in no uncertain terms that no country will get freedom. There will be only two countries, Pakistan and India.
And
So
India.
you can choose between any of these two countries. And for choosing the two countries, what should be seen is the border and the people over there. So Kashmiris at that point of time didn't want to join Pakistan. You will be surprised. What was Sheikh Abdullah being called by Jinnah? Jinnah used to call Sheikh Abdullah a rotten egg. It is said, it is there in the history books. You don't have to ask. You can read the history book as to why did he say that? Because he always said that his Muslim conference must join the Muslim League. But Sheikh Abdullah didn't want Muslim conference to join the Muslim League because he said there should be only one representative body of the Muslim to be able to take freedom and be able to break India into two pieces, and we take Pakistan. But since he did not join the Muslim League, continued with his Muslim conference, and on advice of Pandit Nehru, he said, Pandit Nehru told Sheikh Abdullah, if you call Muslim conference, it looks too communal. So you call it national conference. And therefore, the party becomes national conference. All that is happening perfectly fine. When the instrument of accession was signed, can Sheikh Abdullah sign? Did he sign the instrument of accession? No, he cannot sign the instrument of accession. The instrument of accession, the Maharaja had to sign because that was what the Britishers had said, that the instrument of accession will be only signed by the respective Maharajas. So 562 principalities, kings, Chota, Bada, Saha, Mila karke, all of them signed the instrument of accession. Now, you cannot make anybody else sign. So when the Maharaja signed the instrument of accession, why did he not write that these are the following stipulations? I will only sign the instrument of accession based on the instrument of accession that he signed was the same instrument of accession which all other Maharajas signed. It was no different. If a Maharaja signed it on the 10th of August 1947, it was the same one he signed on the 26th of October 1947. So there's nothing. So this Article 370, which was surreptitiously brought in by Sheikh Abdullah with the connivance of Pandit Nehru and much against the wishes of Sardar Patel, who then finally, because Pandit Nehru was not there, he was abroad, he didn't want his friend to feel bad. So he got it in with Ambedkar refusing, saying, I ever insert this clause of Article 370 because this is not the way it should be. So who found a way out? Sardar Patel. By what? By adding the word temporary. So he
Yes.
added the word temporary to Article 370, and that is how it was brought in, hoping that it would. But 35A was brought by the back door. 35A was not brought by the normal route,
Yep.
it was brought by the back door. So everybody knows. But the politicians of the valley continue to spread that kind of bad propaganda and insert the autonomy of what they call azadi and whatever have you into the head. And now they're screaming that Article 370, which had been abrogated, is not something that is good. How is it possible? They want to use the entire country for everything else. They generate even today the generation of income of this union territory of Jammu and Kashmir is 20,000 crores. That is all that they generate the revenue in 1 year. And what is that the government of India spends? Over 1,25,000 crores. Where does this money come from? Obviously, the government of India is making this money from other states and then giving it to J&K for the development that is happening in J&K. And then you have an incident in Pahalgam where people from Gujarat, from Maharashtra, Karnataka, and UP and Delhi and all over people die. After all, the government of India has taken money from these people, their money. They earned the money, they generated the money, and it was diverted to the state, to the union territory of J&K, with the view that that state, the union territory will develop. And when it was a state, they were getting so much of fund. There is nothing. Normal development, everybody does if you have to be in power, but that's not the way it should be. And why else did Pandit Nehru keep Sheikh Abdullah in jail for over 10 years? So that means there was something wrong, which the Kashmiris did not realize. And then you have people like Engineer Rashid becoming member of parliament. It is something which is a dichotomy. And in that dichotomy, much that Article 370 has been abrogated, normalcy has come, the Union Territory of J&K, the Union Territory of Ladakh, all become part of India. Why again does the Pahalgam incident happen? Because they thought that FDI will start coming into the Union Territory, people will start coming in from outside. They don't want a single non-Muslim. That is the
Okay.
reason why they killed those Kashmiris also initially, and all the lakhs of Kashmiris migrated from there. They want that it should be a complete Muslim state. Tourism, because it gives them money. Hotel booking, it gives them money. So anything which gives them money, they don't mind. But nobody from outside should come and stay, and they feel that Article 370 abrogation, doing away with 35A would now facilitate. So maro, bhagao, ek ko maro, hazaron ko bhagao. All these kind of tricks that they do, bring in a divide between Hindus and Muslims. They are all fools. They are absolutely fools. Indian Muslim is not Buddhu. Indian Muslim is a wise Muslim. He knows कि ये सब बुद्धू बना रहे मेरे को, and he will never fall into their trap. He will never fall into the prey, and that is why, for the first time on the streets of Srinagar, you saw demonstration not for Pakistan but for anti-Pakistan. That Pakistan has brought in a bad name. Pakistan has sent in terrorists, and this kind of a terrorism they do not support. Why did it happen? And it's a good sign. It's an excellent sign. And that is why you find that the Prime Minister has very loud and clear said, इस तरह के करेंगे तो हम इनको मट्टी में मिला देंगे. Why does he use such strong statement? Because he knows that the terror machinery, whoever is spreading terror and the terrorists, both of them have to be killed. The OGWs have to be killed.
Yes.
Work has already started. You find houses have been demolished and everything. So their ecosystem, this thing must be demolished, must be destroyed. And then you will find some people even in India who will say, no, no, it should not be done. No, we should go the legal way. Oh, come on. If you have destroyed a house for reasons because it belonged to a terrorist who is anti-national, if you have a
Yes.
problem, go to the court. You go to the court. We have destroyed it. You go to the court and tell the court that you're not a terrorist. Tell the court that you are a very innocent looking man, and let us see what happens. But this kind of creating sympathy for people whose houses have been destroyed who are terrorists, I think it's
Yes.
something which is I cannot imagine. How can you ever have a feeling, irrespective? Now to say no, the world might say the legal nothing. The world says nothing, absolutely nothing. It is your country. You rule it the way you want to rule it, and rule it with confidence and rule it in the right manner. Rule of law must prevail. It does not mean that just because there is freedom and there is democracy, you
Yes.
can do what you want to do. Not at all. If there are freedom, there are also restrictions, and those restrictions must be followed in the interest of the society. It does not mean, yeah, jaise marji ko I start moving around the way I want it and shouting at people and abusing people. Not done. That's wrong. So therefore, I think very essential for internal security also that people of India must show that that desire that they all belong. For each one of us, nation comes first. If there are organizations like the PFI in Kerala or in South and wherever they may be, they must be very close. No question of anybody. If there are sleeper cells, if you know, because now today cyber is effective, you can monitor conversations, communication, everything is there, everything can be found out. And anyone who indulges in anti-national activities, irrespective of whoever and whichever position that he may be, he must be arrested. He must be put behind bars. A law proceeding must start against these people. And let us decide. Let's see what the court decides. If somebody tells me don't do this, I'll take them along with me in the for patrolling in the valley and patrolling all over and tell them, come on now, the firing has started now. Let me see how you react. So it's very easy to talk human rights, talk this thing is good. All these laws are there for what? To ensure that there is normalcy in the society, that everybody is respected. But these people are not normal. That means they are allowed to fire at me, they are allowed to kill me, and their human right is protected, and I have no human rights. I have no rights. What is all this? Is not done. So therefore, I would. This is my personal view. I may be right. I may be wrong. That the rule of law must prevail. Any law is made to ensure that it's fair to one and all. It cannot be only fair to one. He
Yes.
can fire at me from the house that is hiding to kill me. And when I bring down his house, no, don't do that. That is not correct. What do you mean this is not correct? Why is he firing? If he's wanting to kill me and if I die, just because I'm dead, I can't demand my rights now. It's okay now. It's all over. And just because he's alive, after having killed me, now he can insist on his rights. Is that the way it is? That's not the way it should be. So therefore, it's important that all of us must adhere to the rules of law, and the rule of law must be for one and all. And there should be nothing about law, nothing about the nation. Everything, nation comes first, always and every time. Everything else comes later, irrespective, whatever it is. No religion, no nothing. Religion is personal, and
Yes.
everybody must confine religion to their four walls of their houses. They can go to the respective places of worship. That's it. Nothing more. But to demand, to say that I'm different, I'm special, equal rights.
Yes.
When we talk of rights, it is equal rights, not appeasement and give them special rights. There are no special rights. They're equal rights. No appeasement of any community whatsoever, majority or minority, should not be done at all. That is how I feel. If all these things are followed, you'll find internal security mechanism will automatically work. And internal security people will start reporting that in my society, there are two people who have come who don't look
Yes.
part of my society, and the police will take action. And for which it is very important, there should be no corruption in the society. There should be no taking out revenge on each other कि मैं उसको फंसाता हूँ ऐसे जाके के पुलिस को बोलता हूँ इसको फंसाता हूँ. No, if it has come, if I do like that, then action should be taken against me also. Yeah, how the hell did you report when you knew it? Just because you don't see eye to eye, that your comment complaint is not acceptable, you're also punished. So I also get punished. So
Yes.
this is how it should be, and you'll find everything will happen. I'm sure the government takes care of all these aberrations, and our political leadership today is strong enough to take on anybody and to be able to put things in the right perspective. And Pakistan also, as what has been stated, I think all measures, whether they are political, whether they are military, whether they are economic, or whether they are cyber, whether they are space, whether they're technological, anything and everything will be applied. When, how, that we don't know. But all of them will be applied to ensure that terrorism is eradicated. It is
Yes.
terrorism which we want, not individuals. We are not concerned about Pakistan individuals or citizens. No, we are interested in eradicating terrorism, and especially when it affects India. That's it.
Yes.
Nothing more and nothing less. Yeah.
So, sir, as you mentioned, that China has taught Pakistan to do this asymmetric warfare against India because Pakistan army never had guts or the capabilities and will never have to defeat India in a symmetric warfare. So they are using these kinds of asymmetric warfare which has been taught to them by China. Now, sir, recently we saw that there was a forest fire in Arunachal Pradesh also. I don't know how this can be linked to China, but maybe it may be a China hand. Also, Manipur is rising on tensions in Manipur is also rising on one end. Now, sir, in the Middle East, if we saw the angle of the US involving with the Israel and defeating Iran and all other actors like Hamas and other terror actors, they are defeating them. Sir, now if India goes to war, so what will Iran? Iran president told that he is ready to solve this dispute between India and Pakistan on the table itself. Iran has a very worse situation with Pakistan. We have seen that yesterday Lahore airport was burning. There was also an explosion in Iran itself. Now, when there is a Middle East situation on one hand, so how India will deal with it geopolitically, how US, China, and other Russia is also supporting, and many other are supporting us also. So how they will support India in this scenario, sir? If India goes to war to Pakistan,
If the question is if, the thing is, eh, between us and Pakistan, it will be resolved by us only.
okay,
Nobody should intervene. Nobody should interfere. Everybody can sympathize because whether it is India or China, India or Pakistan, or tomorrow it can be India and Bangladesh. Anybody and everybody, India will resolve. India is capable of resolving, and India will tackle it, and nobody will come to help. Everybody will speak loud. Everybody will give words of advice. Everybody will say all this what everybody is saying. But who's suffering on ground? It is
India.
Indians who are suffering. It is India which is suffering. So we have to find a solution for which I think it's very important that all citizens of India who are staying within the boundaries of India must be seen as citizens of India, and those citizens of India must behave like citizens of India and adhere to rules of law and uphold the Constitution of India. That's the most important thing. All those who have come from outside, illegal immigrants, migrations, whichever brand, breed, they should all go back to the country that they come from or should be put behind bars. There's no question. Because until and unless we come up with very strict rules and regulations, and because India is a country which is very diverse, languages,
Yeah,
food, color, religion, our attitudes, approaches, our even adherence to God, so many gods, so many these things. So there is a real mix, and there is this mix which also has a strength, but also has a weakness. And that
yeah,
weakness is exploiting the weakness by some other communities, some other
yeah,
countries, somebody can exploit them. So we have to be careful, be it in Manipur or be it anywhere else, be it in Bengal, Murshidabad. Now,
yeah,
Murshidabad is the old capital of Bengal, old capital of Bengal. And Murshidabad has always had Muslim majority. Malda has always had Muslim majority. If people from Bangladesh are instigating it or have done what the chief minister of West Bengal says that it was instigated by people from across the border, then we must take stringent action. It's very important. If there's a border fencing coming up between India and Bangladesh, and if the government of West Bengal was to put some restrictions and not allow that fencing to come up for whatever the reason it may be, and you say, no, no, 90% of the fencing is done, only 10% is left, but that 10% is translated on the ground is over 400 kilometers. So if 400 kilometers out of the 4,000 plus kilometers of boundary which you have with Bangladesh, if it is not fenced, then the people will keep coming and going. It's free. If you say only 10 centimeter of it is left, then probably we can keep a man there. But even with 400 kilometers, which has not been fenced, are you expect people to now start walking up and down? That's not done. So we have to be, there should be no feeling. It's, as I said from the beginning, it is our country. It is
yes,
our nation. It is for all of us to defend. It is all of us. It is everybody's duty to ensure the territorial integrity and sovereignty. Today, the old days of a conventional war are over. Even if there are conventional wars, you will find that people in and around there, everybody is a soldier. Some in
yeah,
uniform, some not in uniform. That's all. Everybody is a soldier. He's first and foremost, it is very important for him that he must ensure that his country comes first always and every time. We are not saying the other. They must also, each one of them must respect their country. But as long as they are Indian, it's time that we understood this and believed in it,
yes,
had and respect each other, expect each other, accept each other as citizens of this country. That is the ground rule. Nothing can compromise it. And we have zero tolerance for terror. Just zero tolerance for terror. If it emanates from wherever it comes from, that source must be destroyed. Yeah.
the last question for today before we let you go, sir. Ministry has already informed all the media outlets to not coverage any live movements of Indian military so that our terrorists, our enemies don't know about our preparations. Sir, according to you, and we will also be not be talking about that in detail, that how much ammunition, how well we are prepared, but those who are watching our audience, our Indian audience, and also the Pakistani who are watching this show, we have to let them know how well prepared India is. Not in much depth, but they should have a clarity. Sir, according to you, will there be a covert operation like we did the Uri strike or the Balakot strike, or will there be an open war, and when it will be going to happen, sir?
See, what happens is the government of India has directed anything and everything. If you noticed in Kargil, when people started communicating, you found that the same grid references were picked up by Pakistan and the same area was shelled. So the technology is used both ways. It can be used against you, and also you can also use the technology
Yes.
to be able to influence and do a lot of information warfare, propaganda warfare against the enemy. That is the plus part of it. But the negative part of it, which we will not have any control on, if you were to start showing all defense activities,
Yes.
exercises, this and that, we have to be careful because we must not disclose what you have.
Yes.
That secrecy must be maintained. And as much as how much do you know about China today, or how much do we know about Pakistan? Maybe Pakistan, you may be knowing almost 100% of what's going on there, but about China, very little. Because
Yes.
firstly, we don't know the language. Secondly, not many of our own people are there. And thirdly, it is very difficult. So you find, so there's about a secrecy. So even
Yes.
if they have water in the missile and the missiles are being moved from one end to the other end, you still think it's a missile. Nobody will tell you that there was water in the missile and to make a fool of you. Nobody will tell you. But yes, there are certain things we must keep it as allow the government only to do what they want to
Yes.
do, and therefore these restrictions which have been put by the government are in the interest of the country, may
Yes.
not be in my interest, because maybe my YouTube with all the characteristics of the weapons and all the characteristics, everything, where it can be used, how it can be used, might be of interest to lots of people. I may get a lot of TRP. I can get lots of hits on my this thing, but that's not what it should be. We should only discuss and do what is in the open this thing. So if it's there in the open domain, go ahead and discuss. Nobody stops you. If CIPRI textbook tells that this is the aircraft and this aircraft has the following characteristics, it is all there in the open. No problems at all. And but if you have modified that aircraft with some other missile or
Yes.
whatever it is, whose range is far more than what is stated in the CIPRI book, it's better to keep quiet. Then
Yes.
why do we need to tell the world that no, my missile takes on 500 kilometers, what CIPRI is saying only 250 kilometers? Not that. I think we should not do that and
Yes.
adhere to what the government's directions are. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we learned a lot from you, and thank you for your time. Jai Hind, sir. We see you soon again on Bharat News, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.